there comes a time when the table must turn.
Yeah, this one goes to those who thought this day would never, never, never come.
Music is a revolution. Touch this fire.
Download this revolution.
I want all my brothers and my sisters to say, yeah.
This conscious music revolution.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Schwartz. I'm Executive Director of World Possible. World Possible is a nonprofit organization here in San Francisco, and we support developing communities who are getting their first computer lab or their first set of tablet devices. And we do that by providing them educational content through our piece of software called Rachel. Rachel stands for a remote area community hotspot for education and learning. So it's designed for remote areas or places that aren't connected to the internet or don't have very formalized school structures or don't have a place where kids can go today and research all of the content and educational materials that are available anywhere in the world. And it's a community hotspot, so it's a place where people can come together, they can research topics, they can have debates, they can encourage each other to explore new areas of expertise, and it's for education and learning. And so what that really means is the content that's on it is the best educational materials available for learning. And that's for students at the very youngest ages of the spectrum, all the way up to the most educated adults anywhere in the world. So it starts with an encyclopedia by Wikipedia. It's got video lectures from the most basic math and science produced by the Khan Academy, all the way up to the most complicated math topics produced by MIT, a university here in the United States. And then it's got a host of other educational tools, such as Hesperian health guides that teach basic healthcare, CK12 textbooks where kids could go through, again, the most basic textbooks in math and science, all the way up to the most complicated concepts. And then it's got a variety of educational games, programming software, anything else that you could find valuable if you were running a classroom or if you wanted to educate yourself is included on the Rachel software. So we've deployed Rachel in 26 countries around the world. We found it very, very effective for individuals to teach themselves, to discover what the internet has to offer in our condensed version, our software version called Rachel. So we're proud to be supporting the work that David and Seth are doing. Their mission in Ghana is one of the most important missions we've been a part of. Their vision for recreating an educational system there, focused on technology and focused on education, is really the way that so many people around the world, billions of people around the world, have changed their outlook on life, have found education to create a better tomorrow, have understood the possibilities that education and technology hold for changing everyday life in their communities and providing hope for a next generation to do better than the current generation. And it's a mission that we're proud to support. World Possible, based in San Francisco, has worked with both of these folks, both David and Seth, since about 2009 throughout Ghana. We know that they can execute on plan. We've seen them execute again and again. We've met the children. We've heard the testimonials about how great Rachel, paired with their expertise in deploying computer labs, really works. And we really believe in what's happening there today. So do what you can, support the effort. It's really going to change a lot of lives.
Before I was 13, I lived in 3 villages. And that's what you get. You know, you get up and you look around and that's it. And you dream. When can I get to Kumasi or Techiman or Baiso or any bigger city? Because that's all you know. All you know is your little field. Most of these kids may have illiterate parents. So they're not going to come home and tell them what is happening on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
You know, so for a kid, this is not only for them, but they go home and have something to talk about with their parents. One of the reasons we add in the community lab to the school lab is that talk about teenage pregnancy, talk about kids picking up smoking early, drinking, all kinds of stuff. Where do they get it from? An idle hand when they have nothing to do.
So this is structured towards just full education.
That's education.
It's like school. It's like a school, a remote
school. This is a school from primary to university level. This is just the beginning, by the way.
Yeah.
Because we're going to add information after information after information, and people are not migrating to the cities, which is something that kills me. I look around and You see little kids weaving through cars in Accra and on school day in the morning. Because selling dog chairs, handkerchiefs, oranges, anything they can find. That's because these people are pushed out of the village. There's nothing there. I go to the schools and there's no door.
I'm 23 years old, and then the problem I find hard in the street is sometimes food to eat and then a place to stay. It's very hard for me.
Is this a big problem in Tamale?
Yeah, it's a big problem in Tamale. I have so many youth as my age which are met on the streets and they find it hard too. So we all come together and help each other as one.
You come from a village?
Yeah.
How far away?
It's about 4 hours drive. If you read in the guide, it's situated 6 kilometers away from the Mole National Park.
Why did you leave the village?
Because life there was hard for me. Yeah. And then I left the village because in the village there were no college to go. Yeah. So I came to the city to finish my college. And I did my college by working on being on the streets, surviving on the street, taking care of myself, at the same time paying my school fees and my books and a place to live. My future, right now, when I've got my diploma or my qualification and I had a good job, I would really like to give back to the street, because I have been on the streets and I've seen the struggling and the whole situation. And then if I made it bigger, I can come back to the street to help to give back to the society who are vulnerable, who cannot take care of themselves. And I can open a youth center so that everybody can go there to show his talent, whether you want to be a footballer, whether you want to be a musician, whether you want to be a dancer, whatever you want to be. I will just put a center for the youth on the street.
But to tell the children via this remote access learning, which means that any village through the solar power and through this computer system that the Americans are bringing on this trip with you, Rocky, they'll be showing it to you.
Oh wow.
In Fort William, they'll be showing it to you.
Oh,
in
wow.
Singer.
Okay.
We're setting it up, literally, we've got the whole thing to set up as a model. When you see that and see how powerful for the teachers and the pupils, paperless, they can have all this information. They can just press the button and that information comes out.
Here we're going to demonstrate the bread of knowledge, the bread of life that we want to see given to the children here. That's the most important thing. That is our desire, that the children here in this generation will learn everything they need to know to stay in the village and develop the village so it becomes strong, it becomes independent, it becomes the whole future, in fact, of Singer and the Dagomba people. This is so powerful. This program is so powerful, it can do that. So we have teamed up with our friends from America, which is Seth and the Evco team here, to try to find a way to bring solar-powered computers with all of this fund of knowledge into each village. And Seth here is going to demonstrate that onto the film with Chief Zachariah and his people here, so they really know what we're going to go for. But we have to raise millions of dollars. That's why we're making a film. That's why Rocky Dawuni is backing us. So we get it out there, right around the world, to say, let's start here. It's a big program, Seth. And it's a big partnership. We are little people in the West, but we are big people with the idea. You understand?
Thank you. So David and I pretty much came together with this when we first met, as a matter of fact. We already met in a long time because of our ideas. We fit right into each other. So the idea that we can improve education and at the same time keeping the people in their homes, where they belong, not the streets. their homes with their mothers and their fathers and getting knowledge from the chiefs and the local officials. That is what led us to what we're doing today. Education has become the bedrock of every society. And in the villages especially, that's what we need. So what we're trying to do, we're going to fit 60 villages with thriving computer labs. That's the project that we're aiming for. And each lab is going to have at least 10 computers based on the size, the ventilation, the other things that will come to play. And unlike the school computer lab that Evco has been doing for the years, this time we're doing community computer labs. Because community computer labs has more advantages than the school lab. We're still going to be doing the school lab, but with emphasis on the community. This virtual server has all kinds of activities, from history to geography to religion to science experiments. You name it, it's here. We can get 2 children and we can have them play with these games to show how easy and how motivational it is for the kids. The main mission of Evco is to improve computer technology in the rural areas in Africa. Right now we're in Nigeria and Ghana with the hope of expanding to other countries, especially Francophone countries. We're talking about Burkina Faso and probably Togo. What we do here is that we're giving the kids something that they don't have in the village, and that is to improve their education. So we put computers in the villages so the kids will be able to have access to what we call the virtual server that contains the internet, which is totally on this server that has educational program, math, English, science, you name it, is on this server. And so far it's generated a lot of excitement about kids going to school and kids learning. Today is Saturday and you still see a bunch of kids who have just come in just to see the program and how it works and how it's going to benefit. So overall, it's about education, education, education.
It's important. We need people like you to at least, anytime we call on you, then you come fast, come and see whatever thing that we can do, then to help us develop the children in education, agriculture, any technology at all in the community.
Where we are, the place is fine. We want to live here so that we can go to school and do whatever we want to do.
And how old are you, Albert?
14 years.
And what will you do when you finish school?
I would like to be a doctor.
When we started to think about how we could link all of our craftspeople together in all of these different villages and the different tribes, the different languages, what struck me, and this goes back probably 10 years, to finding myself in one of the slave forts on the coast of Ghana. In this case it was Fort William, Anomabu. And Fort William was a very central and famous British slave fort, which our present Queen dedicated in memory of her father when she took over the throne when he died. And in fact the plaque of George VI is still in the fort, dedicated by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth for Africa's young people. Now of course that probably was her ideal or her wish dream, and God bless her if it was, but it's never happened. It's not happened because when the Gold Coast became Ghana and was independent, then this didn't happen with the fort. The fort in fact became a prison. But in the last few years the prisons have gone, they want to do something with it. We would like to turn it into the first education centre. But to do that we've got to raise a lot of money, because we've got to get even the simplest server and 6 screens and solar power to do it in villages which aren't going to have electricity for yonks. To do that, and what we'd like to do, which is 60 villages along a main slave route from the coast, in this case of West Africa, right the way into the Sahara, about 60 villages. To do this model, to show it off, in those 60 villages are probably going to cost about £15 million. And that includes planting their indigenous fruit trees, so they've always something to, for health reasons, for selling, on top of the crops they make. So these things are wonderful. Alternative technology can be a handmaiden of our resource. We're not Luddites. We can use all these present technical resources in order to educate and get these people to appreciate where they are on the planet and what value they are as human beings.
Fast forward just a few years, now there is this. You see, and this is not, the power of this is that we are the new generation that's actually the internet. We are the internet generation, so we are rewriting every book as to how this is going to impact life within that.
Slavery is past, but present slavery of poverty and the need for information and education is still with us. Let's do something practical about it, because we've got the resources and it requires very little money to start all this off and really do a thorough job this time.